and opportunities in Sin City. They come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus outreach ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming.
Okay, and
I gotta press got it.
so gonna count down with
Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus outreach ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world. Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus outreach ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world.
And welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. Thank you for watching this show. We do everything we can to bring you interesting guests. We've done it again. Jimmy Swan is with us, all the way from Arlington, Texas. He's got an exciting new product and project in the music industry, and it involves kids. So if you have kids, stick around. Jimmy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Let's start there. Arlington, Texas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
By way of Guadalajara at some point,
yes,
is that
yes.
right? Tell me about that.
Well, my parents were missionaries. We were there in Guadalajara. Guadalajara.
That's me talking.
That's you.
Yeah.
I was there for 10 years, and then I was in Ciudad Juarez, which is Juarez,
right.
for about 2 years. And my parents were missionaries there, Southern Baptist missionaries. And I ended up going to Dallas Baptist University.
Wow.
And that's where eventually I met, my roommate was my future brother-in-law.
Is that right?
He was an MK to Ghana, West Africa.
Wow.
And so that's kind of how I got started in the United States.
The first time you met his sister, you went,
about 4 years later after college. So
Is that right? Okay.
But definitely,
What was it like to be a missionary's kid?
It was unbelievable. It really was, because I'm one of those fortunate ones where I never rebelled against being a PK or an MK. I always felt like God had a calling in my life from early on. I knew this was our mission. It was very challenging because I went to an American school, and there's a lot of military rich kids, yet I'm in the ministry, and we're far from being rich, but it was
You don't
always
go into ministry for money.
It was
No.
always a tug of war because in the life where I lived, I was very, very wealthy. But compared to what the American standards were with my friends, I was bottom of the barrel.
Right.
But I did fit in more towards the Hispanics, and those are my friends, and that was our mission.
Well,
So,
that's great.
yeah.
And then you came back and you went to Dallas Baptist University and stayed in Texas from that point
I
forward.
did.
huh?
I've been there 20 years now.
Wow.
And my very first weekend, I was on a Margaret Fund, where it's an MK allowance,
Yeah.
$115 $150 a month. That's all you
Whether you
get.
need it or not.
And
Yeah.
my family's in Mexico, girlfriend's in Mexico.
Wow.
And I met a band there, and they're called Judah, which
Oh,
eventually turned into a band called Between Thieves, which
Right.
when they broke up, I got a guy by the name of Chris Tomlin gave me a call and says, hey, do you have a bass player who, I hear you in the music business. I was like, I got the best one for you. His name is Jesse Reeves. He's in this band, and they eventually got together, and 12 years later, we're putting their songs on this album.
Oh, that's
so
great.
it came full circle, but that's kind of what got me started in the music business.
That's wonderful. Now let's get right into His Kids United.
Yeah.
I want to hold the CD up here. It's a nice album. You have 18 cuts, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
18
Tell
cuts.
me a little bit about the concept of His Kids.
Well, His Kids United, the name basically is standing for His Kids, and
Right.
together we're worshiping Christ, and we're all His kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the pattern of it is in all reality, kids. I've got 4 kids myself, and so
How old are they?
Oh man, they're 1, 4, 7, and 9. They're about to have birthdays, so there's the hesitation. And but yeah, they were definitely my inspiration for His Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've realized is, as a parent, first of all, there's no greater joy in life than seeing your kids worshiping Christ. To me, that is the ultimate. I can teach my kids the ABCs and how to speak properly, and if I said that correctly, and how to be good human beings. But good is not good enough. Loving Christ is the ultimate reward. And so if I can help facilitate my kids, and that was the pattern, to follow Christ, then why would I limit that to just my family? And that's why we created His Kids United.
And what's the concept of the album itself? And in fact, the band, if you can call it that, although it's really not a band.
It's not a
is it?
band, it's a brand, I guess. But
Yeah.
each album we're doing, this is volume 1, and every volume we follow the same pattern. And it's going to have 18 songs. 11 songs I consider the most popular right now, very current. You turn on the radio, these are the same kind of songs that we're having. All of them are featuring kids anywhere from the age of 9 to 10 to about 14, 15 are singing on the album.
Wow.
And then you've got 2 songs that I consider very well-known songs. They may not be on the radio as on the top charts, but they're very well-known.
Everybody knows them.
Everybody
right
knows
here.
them.
Yeah.
Oh, Praise Him, and we did Oh, Praise Him, and 10,000 Reasons was the one on this one.
That's a good song.
And then every project we do 2 classic songs. These are songs that I feel like are really, really well known. And this is more for the parents, I believe, because I grew up listening to DC Talk and Newsboys and Steve Green and Amy Grant, all these great artists. But I play them for my kids. I'm like, Dad, what is this? You know, it's not cool enough. It's not hip enough.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bring in those songs so that now they're cool because His Kids United is singing them, and they're modern. And then at me as a parent's like, yeah, I can sing along too. I'm cool with you.
Yeah.
And we've actually teamed up with CCM Classics, and that's why we're doing the ccmclassics.com, and they're tied in with us for the classic side and introducing the classics to the modern sound, and bringing in the kids and the parents together. So that's a neat little side note. And then I do one song that I consider a crossover song. And that's basically a mainstream artist who did a Christian song and didn't know it. And that falls under the category of like a U2 or those that are walking the line where it's a great song, the lifestyle maybe not so much. And that's where we can really uplift the message in the song without the lifestyle.
Right.
So we're not promoting the lifestyle, we're promoting the song, and it's very uplifting, encouraging. And so we're doing one of those that's well known on both sides of the world.
Okay.
And then we do what I consider 2 originals that not necessarily we wrote them, but they're songs that may not have had a chance to get exposure and
they haven't broken through.
Yeah,
yeah. And you're doing different versions too. You've got dance versions, right?
Yeah. Every CD, we're doing a whole volume every 3 months.
Wow.
So we're repeating this process every 3 months.
Wow.
We're trying to make it very easy for parents just to know that, hey, by the time you get tired of it, we're right there for the next one. So you don't have to beat your head around.
Unlike Frozen, for example.
Right. It's like, let it go. But the concept is, well, I've got 4 versions of every album. And one of them is a sing-along version. And that's where I have, it's kind of karaoke style, but I actually have the lead vocal in there very lightly. So when the kids are singing along, they don't have to feel like they have to be spot on. Yeah. If they drift a little bit and have to come back, all they have to do is listen and catch up. We want them to feel comfortable and not embarrassed. And so that gives them a little help. The choruses are really big, so this is good for youth groups where they can actually have kids leading the kids and get everybody going. Then I've got an instrumental version. So if you don't want any lyrics at all, here's the instrumental. There you go. And then the one I'm really excited about is the remix, and I call it the workout dance version.
Yeah,
and it's all 18 songs, all upbeat, really high energy, and it's something that I think is really needed and special in this industry.
That's fantastic. Jimmy, we need to take a brief break. We're going to come right back with Jimmy Swan. And before this break is over, we're going to play 30 seconds or so of one of his cuts. He's doing a little bit of video. That's not exactly, you would say, a music video itself, but an illustrated song.
Yes.
We'll put it that way. We'll be back with more on Las Vegas Tonight right after this.
A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. We have Jimmy Swan with us. We're talking about His Kids United, which is a terrific CD product. Here it is, right here. He's got volumes dropping how often?
Every 3 months.
Whoa, 18 songs every 3 months. You're going to be in the studio. You're going to be working.
August and October. We're already almost done, actually.
Is that right?
We're almost done for the year. Yeah.
Wow.
We've got the Volume 2, which is in the same vein as this one. And then what we consider His Kids Christmas Volume 1 comes out in October. So that's a whole Christmas.
That's great. Let's talk about EDM, electronic dance music, and the club scene.
Yes, sir.
Right here in Las Vegas, of course, you know, as you were saying during the break before we started to roll on this segment, you can't drive by a billboard without them promoting a disc jockey at one of these clubs. It's all the rage, and they're absolutely going after young people and trying to get their interest and their dollars.
Absolutely.
How are you going to counter that or what are you doing to counter that with Christian music that appeals to kids in that age group?
That's a good question. A little bit about us. My wife and I have decided by choice to be gluten-free.
Okay.
That's a health lifestyle that we've picked. And I've come to realize that being gluten-free is really challenging when you have a 1, a 4, a 7, and a 9-year-old.
Yeah, that's right.
But none of my kids are complaining about being gluten-free. And the main reason is that we've offered them an alternative. Every time we take away gluten pasta, every time we take away gluten pizza, every time we take away gluten cake, we're offering them the same type of product, but gluten-free version. And so they still get to taste the cake, they still get to taste the pizza, they still get to have the pasta, so they don't feel like they're missing out. And that's an illustration on what I use for my product here, is that if I want my kids to have positive message, and I want them to be very encouraged about what they're listening to and engaged. I don't want it to be just safe. I want them to be engaged. I'm going to have to give them an alternative to what they're looking for, to what's popular, what their kids are listening to, so that they don't feel left out, so they don't feel like they are in this corner over here and that they're less than what their friends are, what's on TV. To them, it's just a beat. To them, it's just an emotion that music brings, and music speaks volumes. And I think for us, it was very important to create an EDM remix version of these Christian songs, give them that same tempo, that same beat, so that they can now have an alternative. So if I sit there and say, you can't listen to this, but listen to this version, they're not going to complain about that, because they're going to get what they want out of that style. And that's why it was so important for us to create the remix EDM version. Plus the mamas like to work out too, and they want to have something to motivate them, and maybe wash dishes here and there, but it gives them something to at that tempo. But I think that was the main reason why we created it.
The artists okay with you doing that?
Yeah, they love it, actually. Yeah. Not all of them know about it, but
is
they
that
will
right?
now.
Well, hopefully they will soon.
Absolutely.
And they'll get royalty checks.
Absolutely. Everybody gets paid full royalties.
Yeah, so how do you go? Let's tell me a little bit about the school. Let's start with that.
NAMS, yes. NAMS is the neighborhood art school in Frisco, Texas, which is near Dallas. And ironically, I mentioned I went to Dallas Baptist University, and the owner also went to Dallas Baptist University. They I didn't meet him there. He's about 10 years younger than me. I'm really old.
I can tell.
And but we had this instant connection. He being in the music business for 20 years, I consult a lot of labels and a lot of musicians and business owners. So he brought me in to consult him on his school, as well as he started a record label. And I walked into his facility, and I was blown away. You have kids over here doing drums and guitars and vocals, and it was just a beautiful place, absolutely gorgeous. And he's got about 200 students, and every time he was talking to me about his record label, I was like, in my brain, I was like, I got this other idea, and I was like, that's all good, but can I run this by you real quick? I got this idea, and I think this might work. And so I told him about His Kids United, and he instantly caught the vision.
He got it.
And they are solely responsible in bringing these kids to the table and making them a part of this project. And the kids would come in and they'll rehearse and have the vocal lessons, and then they get experience in recording. It is just phenomenal. And then my producer and mixing guy, his name is David Costell, took it up to the whole next level. He's just phenomenal at getting the quality to be way beyond what people would expect of this.
Wow. Now, tell me about the kids. Does it take them a long time to learn the lyrics and
well,
to
the kids
figure out how to do it?
Yeah, the kids have already been studying for quite a while. So this is a dedicated music school. This is not a after-school program necessarily with your public school.
Okay.
This is not a required. Parents are paying for this education for their kids. And so they're very, very animated and very excited to learn and be a part of something.
I mean, how many kids get to record
yeah,
at that
I mean,
age, you know? That's
and it's what's funny is that we had to be very careful in saying this, because we didn't let them know what we were doing when we first started. And the purpose of that is because we didn't know how long it was going to take and how it's going to come out. And so we couldn't just say, hey, we've got this His Kids United back in October, and it's not coming out until now April or May.
Yeah.
And we didn't want anybody else stealing our ideas.
Sure.
And so it was
And
like
the kids saying, "Are we there yet?
are we there? Yeah, are we there? What are we doing?" So we had about 40 students, and they just did a phenomenal job. They really did.
Wow, that's fantastic. So when you have an idea, walk me through the process of, I got an idea, I want to do this song, to having a cut on the album. Tell me what the process.
Oh wow, the concept of the brand took a while because I knew exactly what it was I wanted to do, but it was very challenging on getting the name and the style, what age group we're going to hit, and how we're going to record. So that part took a while, and then finding the partnerships on creating it. I don't create music, so I have to really depend on them. So they get full credit on the style.
Wow.
I pick the songs, they do the rest. But they. The process is really, really challenging because duplicating the music, and you have to be amazing at it. I mean, these original artists spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they get all the credit of creating the music. They've done an amazing job.
Oh, yeah.
And the producers are great. We're lucky because we get just to duplicate it. So it is challenging. You have to have the right musicians, and they're amazing at getting it duplicated, and then assigning the songs, and then learning how, okay, who sings this part, who sings that part. That was really challenging, and I really wanted to be
arrange it
a mix, and I wanted to have multiple voices on each song, and just how key changes in the songs, and then making the kids adjust to the certain things. And there's a couple of kids that are superstars that we were like, oh, we got to get them on the next 2 or 3 volumes before their voice changes. You know, it's like, hurry up!
Like the Vienna Boys Choir.
But there's like there's if you listen to Shake, there at the end of the song, and he's on multiple songs, but you can really hear this really, really deep. I mean, I can't even imitate a real deep voice at the end, and throughout the song, but you can really hear it. And everybody, all my friends are like, "Oh, how'd you get this adult dude on here?" And it's like, he's 14, man. It's like, he's amazing. I don't. Just because he has a deep voice doesn't mean he's not a kid. Oh, he's amazing. It's like he's going to do all my commercials. You know, he's amazing.
That's great. We need to take a brief break.
Absolutely.
We're going to be back with Jimmy Swan, and we're going to talk more about His Kids United, and we're also going to show another little piece of His Kids United sort of video. We're calling it a video. We'll be back with more on Las Vegas Tonight right after this. Hello, I'm Dale Davidson. I hope you're enjoying Las Vegas Tonight. The guests we've had on the program are wonderful examples of Christians who take seriously Christ's command to love one another. In addition to the hundreds of television stations across the United States now carrying our show, we have been presented with the outstanding opportunity to bring these inspiring stories to people around the world. An international satellite network in the Russian and Ukrainian languages has asked us to provide them with episodes to be broadcast to millions. To make a gift to support this very special effort, please send your check or money order to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. To use your credit or debit card, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you. Welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. We're very pleased to have with us Jimmy Swan of His Kids United is the name of his project. Terrific CD with 18 different songs on it, and lots of kids singing, and they're having fun. I'm sorry I interrupted you in talking about the process. of how you create an album, which I think
Right,
is
right.
interesting to people. Tell me about how the kids have reacted to all this.
Oh, it's been unbelievable, both on the receiving side, but also on the making side. I always wanted a project that uplifts and encourages kids and families. That was the vision. And it wasn't until later on, several stories that started coming back to me, I then realized that it actually started in the creating process. You think of, oh, we're going to present this product and it's going to bless you. But little do we realize how it blesses those who make the process too. And that was really special. And an example of that is there was a girl, we had a birthday party. We didn't have a CD release party, we had a birthday party. So this was, you got a bunch of kids, and unfortunately there was the one day in Dallas that they were expecting these tornadoes, and I was going to have bounce houses and all this fun stuff, and they wouldn't rent them to me because of all this. And it was like a Vegas sunshiny day the whole day. I'm like, this is horrible. But we had this birthday party, and I met a lot of the kids, and one of them told me flat out, she was going, man, this is so exciting for me to be a part of this project. And she says, she sang on Shake, Mercy Me Shake. And Mercy Me was in the process of releasing their new album, and they're from Dallas area, and so they had a lot of events in Dallas, and she went to one of their signings, I think at a Christian bookstore, so I'm not sure in the details. And she was telling me that she had the opportunity to go up to Bart and the guys and tell them about his Kids United. They were so excited. They said, can we hear it? We would love to hear it. And so she was able to play it for them right there, and they were able to comment on it and congratulate her. So it's something really special to say, here's a new song that probably no one else has really covered, or at least they haven't heard a version of that in that type of a cover song. And being in front of that girl and her so proud to say, here, check this out. And that was really special to me.
Any other interesting stories behind the songs?
Every single song on here has been very thought out. Everyone has get some really good meaning. I mentioned earlier that Chris Tomlin in Between Thieves, so one of my original songs is Kindle, which I've been doing music 20 years ago, and that's a song that got me started in the music business 20 years ago. So that came full circle. And little people know that song was actually written by Jesse Reeves, who was part of Chris Tomlin's band. Even though it's unknown and original, that people haven't heard it, it's 20 years old, but it comes from a guy who wrote all of these classics that you guys are singing at church and in cars right now. And here's a new version of a new song that you may not have ever heard of by the same guy. But there was one song on here in particular called Hallelujah. And I've been giving this song out all the time. You can get it for free on our website. And Hallelujah is very, very special to me. A friend of mine wrote the song, and I used to represent him for quite a while in Dallas. And the band broke up and disbanded, and I was at church. I go to Irving Bible Church in Irving. And the congregation started singing this song. And I'd known it for years. And I called Ezra. I was like, Ezra, the church is singing your song. This is unbelievable. And he says, yeah, they just started singing it, and it's getting well. It's like, I tell you what, Jimmy, I want the song to get out there as best as the way it can. I'm going to give it to you. Get it out there however you feel. I want this to be in your hands. And I took that to heart, and I sat on the song for 2.5 years. Did nothing with it because I wanted the right time to do something with this song. Came up with this product, and I called Ezra up, and I said, Ezra, I've got the perfect way to launch the song. I think this is the absolute perfect way. He got excited, approved it. Now it's a part of his kids. Well, we rearranged it. This is where Nams and Levi and everybody have been great, because they modernized the original songs, because we don't want to give you something that's 20 years old and make it sound like that. So the classics and everything looks very, very modern. And he basically modernized the song. So I wanted the songwriter, Ezra, to hear it. And I had the scratch vocals of Levi, the singer, not the kids. And so he calls me back, and I said, hey, did you like the song? And he says, well, it's an interesting story. He says, I sat down, and I had my 9-year-old daughter on my lap, and I didn't tell her what we were doing, and I started playing the song, and she's kind of bouncing around, and then all of a sudden the vocals came on, and she stops. And she got this real big frown on her face and says, Daddy, they stole your song. And he goes, no. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, listen. Those are your words. They stole your song, Daddy. And he's like, no, honey, this is what they're doing. And he explained the process, and she got all excited. And so he's telling me this story, and I said, Ezra, you've got 9 kids, am I correct? He's like, yeah. I said, what are you doing in a couple days? I said, no one knows this song better than your family. Do you think your kids would be available and interested in singing on this song?
On the album.
And so they all went to NAMS, to the school, and his whole
Wow.
family sang on the record.
Wow.
And he wrote me back, and I've got this text message, and he basically says, Jimmy, he says, I've never wept so much in my life and been able to be so joyful of what this opportunity you've given me to now have my whole family participate on something that's so meaningful for me. And now they're going to be a part of this that is going to launch this song, but more than anything, just giving my kids that opportunity. And I was like, are you kidding me? You gave me such a huge blessing to being a part of this. Like, I should be thanking you, not the other way around. But that's how God works. You know, it's amazing to see how God is a part of it.
Do you see looking out in the future that once artists are familiar with this project, they hear their songs or their contemporary songs being on, that they might write for you, or they might want to get you?
It's already happening. Absolutely,
is that right?
Absolutely. We're getting submissions all the time. I'm real good friends with a lot of artists. There was one, Britt Milligan, who plays in Stephen Curtis Chapman's band. He goes, you know, Matthew West and Chapman, all these people have kids. Let's do one with their kids singing it. You know, it's like,
there you go.
Don't put that on there, because don't do it before me. But it's his kids, and I was like, how do we call it that? His kids? You know, it's like, what do we do with that? But no, they've already
kids squared.
His kids squared times 2.
That's funny. Jimmy, we need to take another brief break.
Sure.
We're going to come back after we play some His Kids music, and I'm really looking forward to seeing and hearing everything having to do with this project. It's really exciting.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more with Jimmy Swan on Las Vegas Tonight, right after these messages.
Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life, be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world.
Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? I know who goes before me. I know who stands behind. The God of angel armies, He is always by my side. The one who reigns forever, He is a friend of mine. The God of angel armies. Oh, my soul, oh, my soul, I worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship Your holy name. Your riches.
And welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. We've got Jimmy Swan with us. His project is called His Kids United, and it's really exciting, and I'm sure you've enjoyed listening to it. Let's talk a little bit about kids listening to other kids. Peer pressure is, it's probably stronger than gravity, isn't it? As a force in nature. Kids do listen to other kids, don't they?
They do. I, being a parent of 4 kids, if my kids were in this room and I introduced Dale, here's my kids, the instinct that kids have is stranger danger. And they'll come behind my legs and hide behind my back, and they're just shy. And it's something about an adult voice, an adult authority, that they've got that defense. But if you brought another kid and my kids are here. It doesn't matter, you could be a 4-year-old to a 10-year-old, it doesn't matter. My kids are instant friends with your kids. They're going to communicate, they're going to play together, they're going to talk. There is no stranger danger. And I really believe that kids, the same thing happens with music, where I could be listening to the original artist, and I see my kids in the back of the car, and they're just kind of singing along, bobbing their head. But I'll put on His Kids United. Now they're engaged. They are singing, and they're participating, they're dancing, and then all of a sudden they'll hear the original version, and they'll, Daddy, Daddy, that's our song, that's our song. And but there's everything about this is a message, and it's something that I want my kids. I keep saying the word engaged. I want them to be inspired and participate, because I want them to follow Christ. I want them to be involved with Him, and this is not a worship album, because I didn't want to make it just completely, because there's nothing wrong with worship, and there's a lot of worship kids albums out there, but there's none that have the current hits in the same formula that we've created here, and that's for a reason, because the kids' attention span is so short. And I said earlier that they're going to look for something entertaining, so why not give them something that they can relate to and have that voice that doesn't put up that barrier, and create that defense, natural defense mechanism. Kids listen to kids.
They do.
And that's where we wanted to provide this product, and the parents like it too. They really do. So it's good.
Now, do you think parents are going to want to give this as gifts to their kids?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is something that it's proven. Parents buy something for their kids. I don't buy any music. I'm in the music business. I get it free. But if my kid wants it, absolutely going to get it for them.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great product for grandparents and for parents to gift it to them. But I think even more for their kids, give it to others. I think it's something that, even if they get the free song and tell people go to our website and give it for free, it's enough in there for kids to get inspired and engaged in. So
Yeah. Now, the music business, you've been in it for 20 years, as you mentioned, is just crazy anymore. I mean, how do you make money doing it anymore, and who owns what? Tell me about distribution and how you've been successful in getting it into Christian bookstores and music stores in general.
Oh, it's been amazing. We've partnered with InGrooves on the mainstream side.
Yeah.
They got us into Walmart, and they're getting us on front pages of iTunes and Amazon, which is a huge blessing. Capital Christian on the Christian side have gotten us every single Christian bookstore. They've exceeded their goals and expectations by 150%. All major church bookstores are carrying it. So the distribution outlet's been amazing. Walmart is huge for us, because the music shelves has gotten so small, and to have very little music and to find His Kids on the shelf these days is a huge blessing.
Now, it's downloadable.
Absolutely.
You can get it on iTunes and so on. What's that done to the industry in general? I'm just kind of
digitally?
curious. Yeah.
I think it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
For
It's a
the
positive
business
thing.
side, if Walmart doesn't sell all these, that means I have to buy them back from them. And whether they push it and tell it, or they keep it in their on a different shelf or in their warehouse, I still have to buy that back if they don't sell. And it costs a lot of money to make CDs and shipping, but instantly you can buy it. It's yours. You can preview it before you purchase it, and you get it the second you purchase. And that to me is really exciting, because we're in a fast-paced society. And I say this too, and I'm veering off from the question a little bit. A lot of I emphasize the quality of this product. And a lot of my friends are like, oh, it's for kids. They don't need as much as they. Have you seen my kids on a video game and on the iPhone? It's like, you're going to tell me quality doesn't matter? They're the ones who are going to judge it and say, oh,
they're going to be mocking.
If it's not up to par for the kids, if the kids like, the parents are going to love it. But you've got to get the quality for the kids, because they know. They absolutely know. And so we didn't spare any expense on quality.
That's wonderful. Tell the viewers how you can how they can get the product.
Well, we're on our website at hiskidsunited.com. We have bundles where we've discounted every product. And you can pre-order all of them. And this year alone, we're doing 12 albums, 216 songs. And you get all of those.
You're going to be busy in the studio for a while.
I love it.
Yeah.
We want to make it real easy. We want to make it where it's just automatic. You get it now and then you forget about it, and then it comes in the mail and it's there.
Okay.
So His Kids United, you could get it online or wait till it comes out. All the retailers will have it, Walmart, all the Christian stores and online, iTunes
Right.
and Amazon.
But people can order it on your website, and
Right
then
now.
it'll automatically come if you buy the bundle?
Correct.
Is that how
So
it
you
works?
buy it now, and then when it releases, maybe a little bit before the rest of the world gets
Okay.
it, we might give it to you.
Okay, now tell me the website again.
HisKidsUnited.com.
HisKidsUnited.com. Jimmy, I wish you all the luck in the world. I know you're going to be successful. I know that the kids are going to get a lot out of it. I'm anticipating walking into my church and hearing it blare from the Sunday school rooms. You know, I
Awesome.
think that would be just an awesome thing for the kids to really, as you say, engage, to get all excited about Christian music per se, and really bring them along in their walk, which I think is what
That's
your
the
goal
purpose.
is.
Absolutely.
I wish you the best. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to play a little bit of your music when we come back, and then however many videos we have on hand, we're going to throw into the last segment to give
Awesome.
everybody an option to hear them all. So we'll be back with more on Las Vegas Tonight and Jimmy Swan in just a couple of minutes.
A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you.
And welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm sorry to say we need to wrap up. it seems like we really ripped through an hour in almost no time, Jimmy. Thank you so much for coming.
Bill, thank you very much.
Before we finish out the show with playing some of this terrific music from His Kids United, we want to make an offer. Thanks to you. We appreciate it very much. If you go to our website, vegassaints.org, or also our television station here in Las Vegas, which is Keen-17 TV. That's our Facebook page. And ask, it's a very complicated contest. Say, could I have some free music? We will give you some free music. So tell us how people can go about downloading some free music from you, Jimmy.
Well, we'll provide a link for you, and all they have to do is go to your website, and everybody gets one. And then we'll send a few hard copy CDs to those of your choice.
Okay, God bless you, and we appreciate that so much. And God bless your work. Thanks for devoting all these years to Christian music. Music is very, very powerful. It really reaches people the way the Word can't reach people sometimes any other way. And you reach down and you get them in their heart, and then lead them to Christ, which is, a really noble calling.
You start young.
Yeah.
Start young.
That's right. So God bless you and thanks.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Jimmy Swan and his project is called His Kids United. 18 songs sung by kids. They're all Christian and they're all good and they're all just for your kids. So we hope that you'll enjoy it. We're going to tail out the end of our show playing some of Jimmy's music. God bless you and please walk with Him. Hello, I'm Dale Davidson. I hope you're enjoying Las Vegas tonight. The guests we've had on the program are wonderful examples of Christians who take seriously Christ's command to love one another. In addition to the hundreds of television stations across the United States now carrying our show, we have been presented with the outstanding opportunity to bring these inspiring stories to people around the world. An international satellite network in the Russian and Ukrainian languages has asked us to provide them with episodes to be broadcast to millions. To make a gift to support this very special effort, please send your check or money order to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. To use your credit or debit card, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you.
Be strong, finding it hard to resist. Babe, I'm wrong. Should have done better than this. Please, I'll be strong, finding it hard to resist. So show me what I'm looking for. Mistakes become regrets. I've learned to love you. what I'm looking for. So show me what I'm looking for. Show me what I'm looking for. Oh, oh, oh. Show me what I'm looking for. Show me what I'm looking for.
Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world.